sorry, wrong guess, huh? Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Guys, it's time for us to have a little chat. Guns are cool in the movies, and Die Hard, it's an epic fucking movie. But guns are more like a fantasy item from another movie, one nerds will be very familiar with.
Legend tells of a ring created by an ancient evil that gave its wearer the power to enslave.
If you're confused as to how guns could relate to being the One Ring, just go ahead and hide a gun at home, and then leave a child there, and come home screaming, "Is it secret? Is it safe?" That may sound like a pussy statement, and you may think, "Oh, that's stupid. They're fine around responsible kids. They're not gonna go shoot little Jimmy's dick off with it." Well, they might, and they might not even shoot their classmates with it. But what about the grown man next door who's always ranting and raving about Muslims? What about the kid up the street who just got bullied one too many times and knows where you keep your legal firearms? Yeah, your fantasy of being John McClane has massive repercussions. You do not even see how you've been corrupted by this fantasy that was once meant to be escapism, but now you see it as a part of real everyday life. You think to yourself whenever something bad happens, "Had I just been there with my Beretta, I could have put a stop to it." You're not John McClane, and those scenarios do not happen in the real world. You're far more likely to be shot by somebody else thinking you're the shooter than to do any actual good. The reality is that so many people watch films like Die Hard and think it's like real life, that because they're not swinging swords fighting orcs, it's somehow not a fantasy. People even get this about John Wick. They think that because Keanu Reeves is capable of moving with the type of speed and agility that Wick has, that it's possible to be like that. Well, number one, none of you train like Keanu Reeves does. Number two, even if you did, there is no way you'd survive any number of the scenarios in these films, even if you were as proficient as Mr. Wick himself. Because these are films, these are fantasies, and that's something that everyone seems to forget. So many people refuse to accept that these are fantasies because they're real to them. It's why so many people want them to reflect real-world politics, which isn't a bad thing sometimes. But it's askew when people want to become John Wick and John McClane thinking it's possible, not that they're simply action hero fantasies. Then you have the opposite of this. Those who do just want to play pretend. It's not about protection, it's about taking their babies to the gun range. For them, it's a hobby like fishing, harmless and fun, just a way to kick back with the boys. And you know what? Seeing this scene in Lethal Weapon made me think as a kid, man, that'd be a great way to spend an afternoon. And then you grow up and you see all the damage that these things do, and you realize even if it is fun and even if we can be safe with them, maybe that fun is just not worth the risk. You know, it's kind of like fucking with or without a condom. Without a condom, it's fun, but risky. With a condom, it's fun, and you minimize that risk. You could go out and shoot a blank gun and have just as much fun and no risk. But you want the real thing. Like a guy who refuses to wear a condom insisting he'll pull out, there are repercussions. And those repercussions will always outweigh the fun that can be had.
Have a nice day.